As someone who's always had kind of bad skin growing up and acne, you know, it's gotten better, it's still not perfect. When I got this comment saying, do a video on skin health, I was like, yeah, you know, that makes sense. I was thinking, you know, if you're a bit clapped, but you improve your skin, you're probably still clapped, but, you know, at least you have nice skin, right? No, but really, 95% of the audience on this channel is male. I didn't set up to make it this way, but it's just what I ended up with. And I think men are very, very much so focused on, you know, physique and muscle and body fat, but this kind of all swings for the fences if you're not doing the other things right. It's like your face looks like a puddle of lava and you're dressed like an actual orc to formal social events. Like, come on, dude. My name's Shay, I'm a nutritionist and an international level athlete, and there are a lot of nutrients that will help with skin health, believe it or not. And this was tricky to research for because it's hard to discern whether or not these are like only helpful for like a topical, you know, lotion to put on your face or actually eating them. It's like, okay, well, my wrist is sore, let's put some ice on it, or I could just eat the ice. You know, you see why that doesn't always apply, right? So to know what foods are going to work, we're going to need to know what nutrients are going to work. Okay, so at the end, I'm going to give you my top 5 foods for skin health. And ideally, these foods are going to be tackling multiple of these nutrients that are going to be beneficial for you. I'm not just going to say, okay, vitamin A helps, hit some vitamin A foods, and so on for every individual nutrient. Then we're just going to have a list of like 50 foods, which is too much. So I'll give you la pièce de la résistance. So 2 big factors here are structural proteins. These are collagen and elastin. So collagen's like a structural support beam. Elastin, it's in the name, it helps with skin elasticity. And if production of these is limited, we are going to have issues with, you know, skin hydration and appearance and wound healing, elasticity, all of the above. Wrinkling is a big one there. And a lot of the nutrients I'm going to mention here do help with production of elastin and collagen, so unless you want to look like Darth Vader underneath the mask, you're going to need the high ground. So let's make a start. I'll also cover acne towards the end because I think that's really, really important, but just a quick note on hydration. Like, if you're not drinking enough water, what are you doing? Like, I was gonna say stop it, but start drinking more water, okay. You need proper hydration for proper collagen synthesis, as well as just skin appearance and, you know, wrinkles. Everything gets better with hydration. That's why this video is sponsored by Element Electrolyte Formulas. No, I'm just kidding. Unless you're doing very, very intense exercise where you're sweating a lot, you do not need electrolytes, okay? Just drink water, just salt your food. I do this, I never cramp, okay? We don't need electrolytes. I heard the story of a friend of a friend who was, you know, punishing outrageous amounts of electrolytes in his cubicle every day until he was promptly met with kidney stones. So just drink water, salt your food. It doesn't have to be that complex. Probably the easiest way to just make a start on this is chug like half a liter of water before you even get out of bed on an empty stomach. This will be, you know, getting into your body within a few minutes. You'll feel that head clarity come back to you in the morning. Okay, so onto some of these nutrients that are actually going to help. If you follow this channel a lot, you'll know that I talk about inflammation a lot, and you'll be thinking, okay, finally, this video, we're not going to be talking about inflammation. Of course we are. Like, do you even know me, dude? Basically, countering inflammation, you're gonna protect your cells from cell damage from these free radicals. And vitamin E is a really strong anti-inflammatory, but I only found evidence for like topical creams. And I'm not talking creams here unless you want to like bathe yourself in extra virgin olive oil. I eat a lot of it, but I wouldn't cover myself in it. Like, not on a weekday at least. If you're enjoying, please be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing. I'd love to have you on board. Vitamin C is another anti-inflammatory, and it's really easy to get from most fruits and certain vegetables too. And of course, countering inflammation is helpful, but the big hitter here is vitamin C will actually promote collagen synthesis. And this is, of course, very important. And another thing to note here about vitamin C, it can't be stored very well, like at all. So it's very important that you get this in, you know, pretty much every day. Just grab a couple pieces of fruit. For me, I try to put in bell peppers in my dinner most days. But basically, this is why the old sailors got scurvy. You know, they weren't eating enough vitamin C, and, you know, their gums and their skin started falling apart because they couldn't make the collagen, okay? Vitamin A is not an anti-inflammatory, but it's also very important for skin turnover and also collagen synthesis. So we'll circle back to that later. B12 also helps with collagen synthesis and provides your skin with a nice moisture barrier. And of course, omega-3 also helps with skin moisture, also an anti-inflammatory. I really think omega-3s more than anything else, is kind of like the golden child of nutrients, at least at the moment, given that omega-6s are everywhere, and without enough omega-3, you're going to be ending up with those red inflamed cheeks. I don't actually know if those are solely caused by inflammation. It's just fun to make fun of, you know? But yeah, if you're looking for a ratio, aim for 1 omega-3 to 4 omega-6. If you saw my full day of eating, I'll throw it up there. I was hitting 1 to 3.7, which I was pretty happy with. You usually have to go a bit out of your way for this compared to some of the other nutrients, but yeah, let's carry on. Zinc also helps with collagen and elastin production, such that there are these things called zinc-dependent collagenases. So we literally need zinc to make collagen. We can't do it without it, okay? We also need it to just rebuild healthy tissue. Zinc's probably one of the harder minerals to get, I would say, and of course for men it's helpful for testosterone levels too. So I want to cover acne here because this is also really important. I think, you know, if you just don't have acne, your skin's probably decent. So zinc will also help unclog your pores, and along with zinc, omega-3 as well, together they will help with reducing sebum, which is that oily stuff you might end up with on your skin, which you don't want because, again, clogging up your pores causes acne. And a few other mistakes I see people doing, you know, if you've come in from like a hard training session and maybe you don't shower right away, maybe you're just like sitting around for a bit and then you go shower, you notice that kind of film of sweat that comes off you under the water. Yeah, that's not helpful if you're sitting around like that. So if you're not going to shower immediately, at least just rinse off your face a little bit. And also not changing your pillowcase regularly, okay? Because the reason it's getting yellow is getting caked in sebum and, you know, bacteria, and then your face is on it for 8 hours non-stop. You can see why that's an issue. Okay, so try and change that out as much as you can. A few other notes on nutrition. There is some link between glycemic index and acne. Basically, they're saying that, you know, a very big blood sugar spike caused by rapidly absorbing carbs, such as just simple sugars, might cause some inflammation that might cause acne. I will still stand by simple carbs before training, but I'm a little bit skeptical here because things like, you know, sugar along with inflammation and insulin insensitivity and obesity, all these 4 things really go together, so it's hard to say whether or not it's the sugar doing this by itself. It's kind of like a chicken and the egg kind of paradox, but if you do want to make sure you're just covering all your bases, maybe eat more complex carbs, maybe dial it back on some of the sugary processed foods. It's probably worth seeing how you feel cutting out dairy as well. I remember I did this a couple years ago. Didn't really make a difference, but I do know for some people it makes a massive difference. So give that a go if you are struggling with acne. Another point here is vitamin D, and I found this interesting study that was saying among acne patients, the prevalence of vitamin D deficiency was actually really high. And vitamin D can be a little bit problematic because it's definitely one of the harder micronutrients to get in just with food regularly. And, you know, if you're a full-time office/gym rat, you're probably not seeing much sun. You're working inside, then training inside. And even if you're training outside over winter, it might be an issue. Maybe you're afraid of the UV light, which is kind of a fair enough concern, but you know, this is how we make vitamin D. So maybe if you are concerned, maybe get that tested. I'd recommend like an iron test and a vitamin D test. These are really common deficiencies. It's up to you. So let's get into what foods actually tackle multiple bases here. And I think number 1, and probably the best one here, is actually salmon. It's got a ridiculous amount of omega-3. One of the best sources you can get, of course, with a meat. It's also got B12, which we also need for skin health, and as well, it's probably the best source of vitamin D that you can get from food. I would say unless you're eating a lot of salmon, it can be hard to hit your requirement without the sun, but you know, with salmon it's doable. It's also got vitamin E, which is another antioxidant, so yeah, this tackles pretty much all the bases. Next up is bell peppers, and I'll explain. Vitamin C is ridiculously high in bell peppers, particularly the red ones because they've been on the vine the longest. Additionally, you get a little bit of vitamin A, but mostly vitamin C. And the reason this is important is, as I said before, it's important that you get your vitamin C in daily because you can't really store it, okay? So if you want that collagen synthesis working daily, you need to eat the vitamin C daily. And if you're doing like a meal prep, okay, you can throw bell peppers in the meal prep and you're gonna get that in every day. It's literally that simple. You don't have to go out of your way to maybe grab a piece of fruit and it's like, oh, I forgot to, I don't have any at home. It's a bit easier this way, at least for me, but it's really up to you. The next one here is chia seeds. Now, soak them, throw them in anything. They are fantastic. They have a lot of micronutrients, some of which don't help with skin like iron, but the omega-3 content here is also ridiculous. I personally don't eat that much salmon just because it's quite expensive, at least where I live, so I eat a lot of chia seeds because, man, my omega-3 to 6 ratio wouldn't be as good as it is without chia seeds, genuinely. And the next one here is liver, okay? Liver's got pretty much everything, but in particular it's got a lot of vitamin A and a lot of zinc. And these are a little bit harder to get than some of the other nutrients that I mentioned here, particularly with zinc. Additionally, enough B12 to, you know, support a village really. But liver as well, animal products, the minerals, including zinc, are more bioavailable, so that's worth considering too. And for number 5, I've just got a few honorable mentions. Spinach is also really good for vitamin A. It has a little bit of zinc too, but you know, it's from vegetables, it's not that bioavailable. Carrots are a really easy source of vitamin A. It's really hyped up in the skincare kind of sphere. It doesn't have much else, but it does have a good amount of vitamin A. Extra virgin olive oil for vitamin E and omega-3, and also blueberries just for those anti-inflammatories. So I guess that's my top 5, but turned out being top 8 with the honorable mentions. But yeah, top 4 are those 4. Get those in your diet. Anyway, that's been me for today. That's pretty much all I had to talk about, but let me know down below what extra tips you have as far as skincare goes and maybe acne, so let me know about that. But if you did enjoy, there's some more videos there. I'll see you next time.